Welcome back, horror fans. Pumpkinclaw here. Despite what some may say, horror is not dead. The idea of horror is the suspension of belief, and depending on your favorite flavor, you may love some movies and detest others. Here are my top 10 horror movies from 2016. Number 10, The Neon Demon. This was an interesting take on the dark side of the fashion and modeling world, with an all-star cast featuring Ellie Fanning, Jenna Malone, Abby Lee, and Keanu Reeves. It is about a young, naive girl diving headfirst into the woman eat woman world of Los Angeles modeling scene, where the competition will literally devour you for an edge. This movie is not for the faint of heart. Number 9, The Conjuring 2. There are those of you who are thinking, really, number 9? Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed this movie, and James Wan is one of my favorite modern-day horror directors, but the ending seriously annoyed me. I do not like happy endings in horror, and this film has bright sunlight and a neatly wrapped up finale full of smiles, so that is why it is lower on my list. But despite that, The Crooked Man, The Evil Nun, the amazing inclusion of Amityville horror at the beginning with a gray setting and creepy soundtrack made it a fantastic horror film, all except the conclusion, which I feel was probably more from studio interference than anything else. Number 8, Train to Busan. This might avert some people since the movie is in subtitles, but I do not mind subtitles, and this South Korean horror film is fun and full of enticing scenes. A father and daughter board a high-speed train only to discover that partially through their trip, the apocalypse occurs, with a major portion of the Earth's population turning to ravenous zombies. This survival horror has the man desperately trying to protect him and his daughter at high speed from the unstoppable dead. In a saturated field of zombie horror, it brings something fresh to the table and is worth a viewing. Number 7, The Void. This film has created a buzz on the underground horror scene. A Canadian film released at the Toronto After Dark Film Festival last October, this Lovecraft-inspired sci-fi horror follows a police officer when he brings an injured man to the hospital, discovers not all is as it appears. Soon the staff and patients become utterly insane, and the building is surrounded by cultists. When escaping to the deeper bowels of the hospital, he discovers a portal to the hellish depths of a potentially parallel universe. This crowd-funded film reinvents Lovecraft with a touch of Carpenter for the new ages. Number 6, Ouija, Origin of Evil. I greatly enjoyed this prequel, even though I do not like the original. Taking back to the late 60s, a wannabe fortune teller includes a newly released party game, Ouija, in her act. When her younger daughter attempts to contact the family's dead father, she actually communicates with something that has a sinister agenda, living unseen in their house for decades. Honestly, number 6 was a toss-up between this and Hush. Both directed by Mike Flanagan, who also directed Oculus. With his impressive film resume, I am looking forward to the Netflix series based on the Stephen King book Gerald's Game that is due to come out sometime next year. Number 5, Don't Breathe. This was last summer's horror blockbuster, with even non-horror fans coming up to me asking if I saw it. A group of undisciplined teenagers break into the house of a blind shut-in and learn that some people have secrets they will keep hidden by any means necessary. Starring Stephen Lang, who is badass incarnate, and directed by Fede Alvarez, who brought us the Evil Dead remake, it is a serious must for those looking to feel sheer terror. Number 4, 10 Cloverfield Lane. I loved Cloverfield, and this was an interesting follow-up. I assumed it was a type of Twilight Zone appeal with nothing to do with the previous, but if you do diligence at back research involving multiple websites and hidden Easter eggs in both films, you can see that it all connects, with a third bad robot production called God Particle coming out sometime next year. John Goodman plays an amazing psychopathic conspiracy theorist holding unwilling survivors of a supposed nuclear holocaust in his bomb shelter. Is this truly an end-of-the-world scenario, or is this unhinged man hiding something darker? You will just have to see for yourself. Number 3, The Shallows. I'm not getting into an argument if this is horror or not. Ask an Australian if they think a killer shark movie is horror. I love this movie and see it as the Jaws of the 2000s, with horribly schlock shark movies coming out in droves, such as Sharknado, Avalanche Shark, and Planet Shark. It is nice to see an actually well-crafted great white movie come to the big screen. This film will have you at the edge of your seat and screaming at the screen for this monster's destruction. It also has Blake Lively in a bikini for over an hour. How could you go wrong? Number 2, The Eyes of My Mother. This is a hidden gem, and when people say there are no good horror on Netflix, they either don't truly like horror or they are not looking hard enough. This gory movie filmed in black and white brings a Hitchcock-Hooper mixed bag to the genre, depicting a strange girl and her obsession with death and fascination with the macabre. This movie seriously made me feel uncomfortable. The gore, the ambiance of necrophilia, and sociopathic little girl obsessed with the dead. I've watched this multiple times and each time makes me feel more and more uneasy. And number 1, The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Not only is this my favorite from last year, this could be a contender for my top 10s altogether. Brian Cox and Emile Hirsch are father and son morticians who receive a body from a local crime scene to autopsy for cause of death. As the night progresses, the unblemished figure of the youthful girl reveals a horror beyond comprehension. Every piece of flesh pulled back, every organ removed reveals something truly horrifying that will have you guessing till the very end, leaving you in awe, asking yourself, what did I just see? An overall amazing addition to the horror genre. You know what? I'm gonna go watch it again right now. It is just that good. What are some of your favorite horror films from 2016? Comment in the section below, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Stay scared.